Hey guys, this is Aya. Today we are making homemade ladyfingers. Let's get started. First, separate eggs. And we're gonna make meringue with this, but before we start whipping it, I recommend finishing all the preparations in the beginning because everything moves quickly after the meringue is done. So sift flour, set a piping bag, and plastic wrap to wrap the cake batter later, and even powdered sugar to dust in the very end, and set the yolks aside. And now let's start whipping the egg whites. Do not add all the sugar in the beginning, add about half of it when it looks very fluffy like this. Whip more, and add the rest when it looks even stiffer and fluffier. And continue whipping it until it gets very fluffy and stiff. And this is very important to make light, airy, and fluffy ladyfingers that can hold the shapes as you pipe them. And quickly add yolks and mix very lightly until about 50% is blended. We do not want to take too much time here to keep the meringue nice and airy. And clean the sides. And add the sifted flour. And quickly start folding just until you don't see any flour. How much you fold here is very important to avoid over mixing, so pay close attention here. And when you fold any cake batter, focus on the 4 tips. We do not want to mix it vigorously to prevent the air bubbles in the meringue from getting eliminated too much. You can either use cake flour or all-purpose flour. With this one, I used all-purpose flour, but I'm gonna mention about the differences at the end of the video, so stay to the end. Clean a spatula, the bottom and the sides of the bowl to ensure it's mixed evenly. This is the final check. And it looks good. It should still look fluffy and thick. I like to divide in half and wrap each. That way I can finish the piping process faster. You can use silicone mat for this if you have. With parchment paper, it often slides around as you pipe them. So to prevent that from happening, attach a little bit of the cake batter on the corners, just like this. And today I piped into about 4 inches long and 1 inch thickness, but you can of course change that around as you like. But just know that the thicker that is, the longer it takes to get baked, and the opposite happens when it's thinner or smaller. So adjust the baking time accordingly. And quickly dust the powdered sugar on top all around the surface. Wait 4 seconds and dust 1 or 2 more times to the spots that the sugar got dissolved. And this powdered sugar does such an important job to make lighter and fluffier ladyfingers with more volume. Bake in the preheated oven until the surface gets nice light golden brown and bounces back when you touch the side. Take it out and wait until it cools down. Today I baked just until the ladyfingers are cooked and fluffy, but you can also bake longer to make them drier and crispier if you prefer that. Use a cake spatula or something similar to remove the ladyfingers from the parchment paper. You can enjoy them as is with tea or coffee. It is such a simple yet delicious treat that you can whip up quickly or dip in chocolate. Use for whole cakes such as tiramisu or chocolate cake. Pipe them into any shapes you desire and have fun.
Looks like I'm the judge.
Yeah, how is it? Judge.
Good. I bite at the ears.
The ladyfingers are so easy to make as you saw, but there's one common issue that a lot of people face, which is loose batter. There are a couple reasons that could be causing this. First one is meringue. Ensure that your meringue is whipped enough until it's fluffy and stiff. When it's much softer, that leads to a loose cake batter, or maybe the cake batter was over mixed. As you saw, you can stop folding as soon as you don't see any flour anymore, or that could be simply because you took a little bit too much time before you bake them. Because of that, the air bubbles and the meringue got killed a little bit too much. So that is why I recommend preparing everything you can in the very beginning, just like I showed you earlier. It's gonna give you a lot more ease and less stress. So just to show you how it will look, with this one I folded the cake batter more until it gets shiny, and you can see that it can still hold the shapes. It'll get looser if I mix even more, and you can see it spreads more in the oven. It doesn't look bad at all, but it tasted a little bit more dense. You can also make these ladyfingers with cake flour. With that, the texture gets even lighter. The difference is not that huge, but if you prefer lighter texture, use cake flour instead. Store the ladyfingers in an airtight container. You can store them at room temperature or in the fridge. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please let me know. And next week, I'm going to make delicious tiramisu using these ladyfingers. So stay tuned. Enjoy pastry 11, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.